Hi everyone, I'm Henry Leck from the United States, and I'm so excited today to talk to you about the fact that the book that I wrote, the textbook, which was only in English, is now becoming available in Portuguese. And I think this book is a foundation for all kinds of wonderful things that can be done with the artistry of young children. The book starts out talking about the importance of artistry. So often when we teach children, we think, oh, well, they're too young to do mature musical things. But in fact, young people can be great artists. So the book talks about how to get past the notes, how to get past the memorization, and start to build beautiful phrases and beautiful tone and make artistry come to life with young people. But there are tools to doing that. And so in this book, I've taken each chapter and kind of broken it down into what we here in America look at as fundamentals in teaching young people to sing. The first section, for instance, is on vocal techniques. And I've been to Brazil many times, and I know many of my friends are down there, and I look forward to sharing this with you. But how we approach vocal technique is so important. When I was in Brazil, I often learned that when they sing folk material, children sing folk material, they sing in their low voice with kind of a full, rich sound, which is wonderful, and I think they should. But if you ever want to sing Mozart or the European composers' music, or what we call bel canto music, which involves the higher voice, I think it's wise to start using that voice. Start from C, that's above the octave above middle C, descending down so that the head voice starts to meld into the chest voice and it becomes one voice in full. So in this chapter on vocal techniques, there are all kinds of vocalises and approaches, movement, all kinds of things that will help you establish good sound vocal technique with children. Then we go into more specific things. For instance, the preparation that a director must do. You know, too often I think directors take their music, get on the podium and teach it while they're learning it. But you can teach more effectively if you take the time to really analyze the score. So there's a whole process here of coloring certain things and defining the form and the context and the elements that you can teach, so that in advance you know what your approach will be to teaching children. Then we start looking more specifically at how do you then get musical things to happen. So there's a whole chapter on visualization, how to get children to imagine ideas so that their singing isn't mechanical or isn't by rote, but instead it starts to take on expressive artistic origin. Then after that, we look more specifically at some techniques. And one is Jacques Delcroix's, which is using movement. So there's a whole section on how to get kids to move so that they sing more artistically. I have to say, from my experience with Brazilian children, that's not a problem. Brazilian children move very, very well, and they feel rhythm very intrinsically. So Delcroix's is probably already innate in the musicianship that you teach. But the next section, the next chapter, is on Kodai technique. And that's to help children learn to read music, to become literate with music, to teach solfege. And those are fundamentals that I think are so important to teach. Because if we teach every song by rote, they never grow musically. They have to learn how to read music and become mature musicians in the process. And then after that, one of the challenges I think we all face is what happens when children's voices become adult voices. There's a whole time when their voices are changing. So there's a whole chapter on boys changing voice, how to introduce the new voice from the old voice, coming down across the break and building a 3-octave range so that when a boy's voice changes, they don't stop singing, but that's when we help them most. And they sing from the top down and eventually can have a wide range, singing soprano, alto, tenor, or bass. And after that, we talk a little bit about leadership, because in what we do with choirs, it's not just teaching music, it's not just teaching literacy, it's not just teaching notes, but it's building that inner sense of strength and of leadership. And so this chapter talks about passion and results and embracing the artistry in such a way that children start to internalize the beauty of music. And then the last thing in the book is all about organization, because you can be a wonderful teacher, wonderful musician, but if you're disorganized, then it'll all come back to haunt you. So you know that at one time I was the conductor of the Indianapolis Children's Choir, and we had nearly 5,000 kids in the choir. So organization was really important. How we took attendance, how they signed in, how we managed them at concerts, etc. So this book has all kinds of organizational elements in it. So I'm excited about this book. I'm excited it's going to be in Portuguese. It's the first foreign language to me that this book is going to be in. I'm excited that you will have a reference, since I'm getting older and I don't think I'm going to be able to get to Brazil again, but I see this as a way that you can learn and grow and use the fundamentals to help you succeed and ultimately give your kids the best possible experience. So I look forward to getting the book. I also look forward to some Zoom conversations we're going to have. Best of luck. Thank you, Lilia, for your efforts in getting this book put together.